Some religions carry an important event known as Judgment Day or the Last Judgment, or you may see some variation of this. In fact, Britannica.com defines this event as a general or sometimes individual judging of the thoughts, words, and deeds of persons by God, the gods, or by the laws of cause and effect. Marvel's Eternals are carrying out their very own Judgment Day against the X-Men for having excess deviation. My name is Arico Braddock, and today I wanted to give you everything you need to know so that you're ready for Marvel's A.X.E. Judgment Day #1, scheduled for release on July 20th. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So today I wanted to tell you a little bit about the A.X.E. Judgment Day crossover. A.X.E. stands for Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals, and the recent Eternals series written by Kieron Gillen with art from A.X.E. has been leading up towards this event for nearly the past year of comic books. And now with the release of the Avengers Free Comic Book Day issue and the recent trailer that Marvel dropped for their Judgment Day crossover, we have a lot of new information that I wanted to go ahead and share with you so we can get ready for the upcoming event. I want to maybe back up a second and just recap what an event is. An event, it really is a crossover that can have an impact on multiple comics. It's one of the biggest stories that Marvel or DC can release. So really big news for, that side of the universe. Also, the X-Men comics are some of my very favorite titles that Marvel's currently publishing. So the fact that we are entering into an event that's partially for the Eternals, but also for the X-Men, definitely needs some attention over here on the channel. Now that we have a little bit of grounding about what the event is, let's go ahead and jump into a plot recap, kind of explaining where we left off with the Eternals and X-Men and what's to come next. But in order for me to share this information with you, I need to spoil some comics to give you the plot recap. Some of the comics I need to spoil here are recent X-Men titles and also Marvel's most recent Eternals series, simply because there are so many plot points in every single one of these books, and I want to give you as much of a picture as I can because we actually have a lot more information on Judgment Day than we might think. So without further ado, let me now jump into some plot information for you. So to go ahead and start, I want to recap what the Eternals machine is because it is essential to the plot of Judgment Day. So the machine is the Eternals' artificial intelligence that they use essentially to get information about, the updated Marvel Universe or their whereabouts, or just, make decisions for their average everyday lives. Now, the reason and some of the background behind why A.X.E. Judgment Day is happening lies in the X-Men's recent foundation of rebirth. So currently in the Eternals, if you've seen the Eternals movie, the Eternals are known as the Eternals because they're able to go ahead and resurrect themselves. However, and this is a major spoiler for that recent Eternals series, what the Eternals found is that each time they resurrect themselves, a human dies in order to pay that price of somebody coming back to life. The Eternals are shocked by this revelation, and they're trying to keep it a secret because they don't want anybody else to know. Over on the X-Men side of things, the Eternal Druig has an information network. Druig used the Jack of Knives, aka one of the Tricks, who is an Eternal crime lord, essentially. He snuck onto Krakoa and was able to find out that the X-Men have been reviving themselves. This created a massive controversy within the scope of the Eternals because the Eternals don't want any deviation. The Eternals' reasoning for this is because they don't want human beings to develop to be as powerful as they are. In the Free Comic Book Day issue, we saw Thanos' uncle Uranos explain why excess deviation is bad in the eyes of the Eternals. Uranos stated that a deviation is bad because an infinitely expandable hive mind is a genetic technology that cannot be put in the hands of lesser beings. Druig was able to use the intel he got from Jack in order to let some of the other Eternals know that it's time to go to war against the X-Men because they're cheating death in using their own abilities in tandem together to do things that they never would have thought possible. In fact, the ending of Eternals number 12 and the Free Comic Book Day issue is largely the same, where Druig realizes that the biggest excess deviation happening is currently on the island of Krakoa. And in addition to Krakoa, Kieron Gillen gave us a 1-2 punch because Druig also knows about Arakko. Arakko is, of course, Mars that the X-Men recently terraformed. So the X-Men, or the Eternals rather, are not just going to be going after Krakoa for the resurrection protocols, but they're also going to be headed directly towards Arakko. I hope Storm is going to be ready to, fight off any of the drama that happens in the meantime there. And the way the Free Comic Book Day teased the inclusion of the Avengers in this event was basically by putting them in the middle. We literally see the Avengers in the middle of the promotional art between the Eternals and the X-Men, trying to stop them from breaking out into a massive war. So now, the only piece I believe you're missing is what sparks this powder keg from the X-Men side of things. And to analyze that further, let's talk about the kind of mutants that are on Krakoa and the kind of abilities that they have. So precognition is how the X-Men realize that the Eternals are staging an attack on them. The freedictionary.com explains precognition is knowledge of something in advance of its occurrence, especially by the extrasensory perception, clairvoyance. Now, this is where things get interesting because the X-Men have a couple of those on Krakoa. There's a lot of X-Men, almost all of the X-Men are on Krakoa. So what the team is able to go ahead and do from this stage is use one of their precogs, Destiny. Destiny is currently affiliated with Mystique romantically, and essentially is able to see the Eternals attacking the X-Men before they even do it. We got this information directly from the trailer that Marvel recently released, and I have no doubt that that's where these X-Men comics are headed over the next couple weeks. Really, at this stage, we're just waiting for the rest of the pieces to be assembled for Judgment Day to really transpire. However, we have so many blocks right now that I wanted to just go through them one by one with you in this video and talk about, how the battle lines have already been drawn for Judgment Day. So now that we have the Eternals dead set on attacking the X-Men, and the X-Men, any day now are going to use Destiny to foresee the attack, I just can't wait until we finally get this, basically clash between these two factions. And I think, too, one of the other big reasons about why I'm so excited for this run, aside from the fact that I'm a huge Kieron Gillen fan, and Valerio Schiti is actually drawing Judgment Day, who is just an incredible artist, but I think that there are so many adult themes that have already been captured in a really interesting way in the X-Men and Eternals comics, and I'm specifically talking about themes like the resurrection and the death on the Eternals side, and also they have kind of been setting up how there's going to be a force of humans kind of looking to wreak havoc on the X-Men. And even though this is the Eternals, it's interesting to see that they're finally going to have some sort of really large-scale clash based on these themes that Kieron Gillen and the team over at X-Men had been working on establishing for years. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me on today's video. Again, my name is Arco Braddock. Please feel free to go ahead and follow me on Twitter and TikTok. And I want you guys to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Have a lot of fun updating videos for you guys weekly. You best believe we're going to be reviewing A.X.E. Judgment Day #1 as soon as it comes out. Thank you guys so much. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.